Morning on this, I think it's Sunday. It's hard to tell. Every day is kind of the same, except some are just busier here in the land of the swift. And basically, I'm in this place, my life, my work, and it's all encompassing. And that's probably why, I am going to get back to bows. I actually have one up there that I want to document on a video. And what it is, it's a converted, I made it originally as a D cross-section English longbow, let's say, out of red elm. Worked it down to the heartwood. Not impressive. An elm does not really want to be a narrow, deep, round cross-section longbow of any weight. They like to be flat bows. And so what I'm going to do, because everyone loves gull-winged North American Plains horse bows. I've already shortened it because it was very long, and I flattened it, and it's basically tillered. It's got a propeller twist in it because elms, ulni, love to propeller twist. So I get to steam it, shape it, sinew back it. I might just say, hey, because people are interested in these bows, I'll get the twist out of it. I'll shape it into a gull wing. It'll be basically tillered, not a super heavyweight, not 1,000-pound draw horse bow, gull wing horse bow, but probably in the order of 40 to 50 pounds. Nice and reasonable. And of course, farther you pull it back, the heavier it will be. So stay tuned. I have varied interests, and I'm one of these people that want to know why. How do things relate? Proportions, reasons why. After that period of time when we're children and it's like, why is the sky blue? Why do trees grow that way? Why? Well, that never really escaped me. I like to know why. It's not just important to me to know that something works, something functions, a bow throws an arrow. I want to know, why does that bow function the way it does? From start to finish. And so I like to pick things apart. That's just the way my mind works. Now, in my previous video, I entitled it, I think it was like a raccoon ate my Fritos. But kind of an inside joke. My wife was working in the garden, set a bag of Fritos down on the ground. Not a wise thing in this environment. And a group of baby raccoons popped out of the weeds and snatched her Fritos and disappeared. This place is imbued with life forms. They're usually pretty polite, so I was surprised that those baby raccoons, probably poor mothering, were not polite, and they stole her Fritos, but such is life. John's box of fun here. I went from plants yesterday. I like to understand. How do walnuts, black walnuts and butternuts, how do they relate to the hickories? How do the various maples relate to each other? How are things grouped? Taxonomy. It's fascinating to me. So in this episode of John's Box O Fun, I have skulls. My skull collection. Let me grab one out, and I do have something that relates to the Frito story. Well, first of all, a coyote skull. This character is within the family of animals, a grouping of animals who are carnivores, carnivora. And it's interesting, this is a tidbit of information. Each genus, let's say, I'm not going to go to the family level, but each genus has a certain dental formula. And a dental formula is like, let's take the skull, split it in half this way, because it's symmetrical. This side is the same as this side, so we're only concerned with half on that side. And we're going to do top and bottom because the top and bottom vary. In fact, if you're looking at white-tailed deer, they don't even have teeth on the top. They just have this like hard ridge of I can't even think of it. It escapes. Just a hard ridge of gumminess. That's the technical term, gumminess. That the bottom teeth, because they have incisors on the bottom, pushes against. It's just good for ripping, and then they carry it back to their molars and stuff. But anyway, let's take the top, split it in half, and you count the number of incisors on that half, and then the canine teeth, and then say the premolars and then the molars. In each genus will have that specific dental formula, top and bottom. And in a good field guide, they will have literally the dental formula, like 2, 1, 3, 2. We'll categorize that for the top and then the bottom. And so I'm going to take Mr. Coyote, that's how you really pronounce it, Coyotes, and I'll take Mr. Snowshoe Hare. Now I'm looking at this, and definitely the dental pattern is different. There's incisors, no canines, and then just the back teeth look the same. I'm not even sure there's premolars. I think they're just molars. So incisors, no canines, and just molars. Contrast with this, different genus, different family, because this dude is not, the little snowshoe hare is not dragging down animals to eat, vegetarian. But let's look at the eyes. The eyes on a rabbit or a hare on the side, they're the same way. So they don't have binocular vision. They're not able to judge distance as much. They don't need to acquire the distance to leap upon a vegetable. As a coyote or a cat or the other carnivores need to acquire distance in order to leap onto something. They don't have binocular vision. They almost have 360-degree vision all over. Their purpose in setting their eyes on the side, big eyes, is to be able to see movement and then just react. Where these, binocular vision. You've just discovered the thrill of understanding dental formulas and where the eyes are located. Now, let's move on to something before we get to the pasty resistance. What about cats? Oh, let's see, that's not a cat. Oh, this is kind of fungusy. I better find a plant that's antifungal after touching this. We have, and I'm just playing around with you, we have a house cat, domestic cat, Meowis carpita, and we have a bobcat, Meowis roberto. Obviously, I'm just messing with you. Those aren't really the genus species names. But look at these. They'll have the same dental formula. They'll have the same arrangement of the eye orbits. And basically, one just looks like a shrunken version of another one. If I had a puma or a jaguar skull, it would basically be like big one, little one. Very related. Definitely binocular vision, because these are hunters. They're not going to be, they'll munch on grass and then puke on things, but they're carnivores. Cats are carnivores. More so than members of the dog family, the canine family. Canines are carnivores, but they'll eat other stuff too. Foxes carries that to a higher degree. There's the lower shore drive foxes that go from construction sites, around lunchtime and get granola and other stuff. They'll eat whatever they can. But this is kind of interesting. I like how one is just tiny of the other. Not surprising. However, hang on to your socks, sports fans, because this will shock you. This will shock and amaze you. Getting back to the Frito-eating raccoons, Procyon lotor, and the ursas. What is an ursa? A bear. It's going to freak you out. I hope you had a good breakfast, because this is shocking. Small bear. People look at my skull cabinet and they're like amazed. Wow, I thought bears would be bigger. Well, small bears are smaller than big bears. This is a young bear. But check this out. We have the raccoon and we have the bear. Black bear. One is exactly the same aside from size as the other. The same eye orbits, the same sinus cavities, the same, what includes where the nose is, the same dental formula. They are related. They're, in a certain family and order, But it's funny to me that raccoons are shrunken bears when you take the hide off. People don't realize that. There's a bear over here and a raccoon over there. It's like, yeah, they're mammals. They're, going around doing kind of the same thing actually, kind of exactly the same thing. They look different, but when you take the skin off the head, one is a mirror image of the other except for size. It's pretty fantastic. Same dental pattern, same number of incisors. Canines, premolars, and molars. That should shock you. Now, why am I fascinated by this so much? Well, I'm fascinated by the natural world, of course. I mean, that's the job I have. But I'm fascinated by this whole thing as far as the individual, the species, and then going up to the genus level, and how all the members of the same genus relate, and then the family, how they all relate. And you can find commonalities, maybe where they split off. I'm not going to get into, what my views on evolution and stuff like that, or natural selection. You can draw your own conclusions. If you are people of deep, deep faith, I personally don't understand why they have to be mutually exclusive. It's just a matter of how things happen. Was it like things were created, or things were created in a certain scientific way? Things were created either by happenstance or by some intelligent design. Okay, you can argue that. But how things actually happened, whether by just I made things happen, or else I made things happen in a certain scientific and logical way, that doesn't exclude either train of action, either line of action being done by the Big Banger or intelligent designer. Revolutionary thought. And a lot of people have that too. But I'm willing to put that forth in documentary form. Not mutually exclusive. Not mutually exclusive. And so that, I've been up and running around since 8:30. I opened the gates at 10. I'm looking for my phone. I missed the obvious. It's right there. I better get it in gear because there is so much stuff to do. The next 7 weeks is going to be a crush. That's the heavy part of the season. Then we get a slight break in September because it used to be I could forget to open or close the gates on a September evening, and it wouldn't matter because nobody would come in. But nowadays, everyone wants to beat the crowds and be where there's no crowds, and they've created their own crowds. So September is now busy, and then October is a madhouse because of the colors. The fall foliage. The P is silent in foliage. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. Hang in there. You're going to see a red Elm Debo soon, very soon. I need my second cup of coffee. Second cup of coffee. Coffee.